Welcome to part 1 of this 3-part Monstercat Uncaged Volume 4 mega podcast, I guess. Parts 11, 12, and 13 will all take part with different guests and have 10 songs in each of them. And today we're talking about the first 10 in chronological order. And our 3 guests. First, we have the most accomplished frog since Slippy Toad. It's Gabe Meister.
Slips and slurps will never replace me. I am the greatest frog. I don't care what anyone says.
Our
Fuck you.
second guest is the awesome Aussie, the Thunder Down Under. It's Project Underscore.
Hey, what an intro. How's it going?
And our final guest is Andrew.
John, I want to know how many minutes you took to write your intro for Alex. I don't know how long it took you to come up with that.
Before this podcast started, I looked up words that rhyme with under and also words that begin with the sound.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I also looked up famous frogs for games.
Oh my god.
You didn't look up anything for Andrew.
And the thing is, like, as soon as you started introducing Alex, I knew you were gonna do that. You're gonna be like, oh, and here's Andrew.
Oh my god.
Because guess what? I have all my videos deleted, so there's nothing about me.
Yeah, you don't exist as far as most people know.
I made ranking videos, then I deleted them, then I came back and made more, and then I deleted them.
Well, don't forget about your fucking, oh god, the My Return video that will be playing in the video now.
So a couple of our songs are on this playlist called Play This at My Funeral by Ali Mann. I just can't imagine anyone listening to this at a funeral. That's a pretty messed up funeral.
Wait, I have that.
Man, that was a really long return video.
Up?
Yeah.
What?
Wait, is that video up?
No, I have it downloaded.
Ah.
I downloaded it
We're
back
off to a
in
great
June 5th,
start, aren't we?
2017. Yeah. If
Hey
anyone's
John,
still
when's our
watching
Kanye
this, that's
ranking?
good. Our Kanye ranking is coming whenever I feel like making our Kanye ranking.
Wow.
Do I actually have? I don't know if I still have that on here. My notes.
Wow, you're a mistake.
I'll look for that later while we're not in the podcast.
Guys.
So, before we start going with our first song here, it's been about 2 months since the Uncaged Instinct split happened, the great schism of the Monstercat community, and I just want to get any quick opinions from you guys. You don't have to like write a thesis or anything, but Gabe, we'll start with you.
Alright, so personally, I don't think the split matters that much. The only way I see it as is that we're getting more music. That's really all that I care about. And granted, I don't think it had the strongest start. Like, the split, I didn't think either of the channels started very strong after the split, but I feel like everything's all good now, and I don't really think it matters that much. It's just music's music. So.
Right. I'll piggyback off of you because I pretty much have the same opinion. Like, the compilations not having the same, like, not having variety is gonna kind of suck, but like, I don't really listen to compilations on their own for the most part, so that's not gonna really affect me too much. And we're getting 4 a week instead. We'll never get to that sweet Monstercat 0017 songs a week sort of high, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the 4 songs a week. Alex?
Oh yeah, I'd kind of have to agree with you here. Sorry. Like, I think personally, it was always going to be a slow start for both Instinct and Uncaged, but I think we've had some pretty good songs released from both channels so far, and yeah, if it keeps up the way it's going right now, I think it's going to be pretty strong. Honestly, I mean, I'm happy with you with what you guys said, like 4 songs a week, I'll take it.
Right.
So yeah.
Andrew?
Oh yeah. So I'm glad that they decided that we're gonna put all the good songs on one channel and all the bad on the other. I know I said that before, but just like Uncaged is much better than Instinct. What the? A light bulb just went out in my room. What the fuck?
That's the
light bulb
ghost
telling
of
you that your
Luther.
opinion's wrong.
Oh, just so you can comment hate to me. Fortress sucks. There
That's
we go.
okay, we still love you, Andrew.
Yeah, actually, I would say despite your puppet opinions, but I don't really like most of the Puppet's new stuff. So,
Yeah, I'm glad.
Oh, time for John to get some hate in the comments, too.
yeah.
I'm just not gonna say anything.
Well, Alex, it's just you and me left.
Whenever
Yeah,
we
man,
get
let's
to
do
the
it.
Instinct Volume
Oh, it's
1
okay, yeah.
mega ranking,
When we
that's
When we get to the end of this episode, everyone will hate me with one of my opinions, so...
Oh yeah, oh I know exactly which one you're
Alright.
talking about. Or exactly which 2 you're talking about.
Literally, the second half of this episode is just going to be unpopular opinions from me, as
Yeah.
usual, because I typically have unpopular opinions.
Yeah, all the Boy Kid Cloud fans will be at your throat.
I know,
after this
right?
episode.
Yeah. Well, it's
Uh-huh.
funny because for a while, like kind of before you started doing a bunch of rankings, it's like, all right, unpopular opinions title either goes to Dill or Sam, and I could never really make my decision. And then you sort of plopped in out of nowhere. I was like, okay, don't have to make that decision anymore.
Mr. I don't like gravity. That's how it started.
Mr. Soup Andreas is one of my least favorite artists on the label.
He's still one of my least favorite artists on the label.
Oh man, it's a good thing Soupy's not on Uncaged Volume 4.
Melatonin was a quote-unquote honorable mention for my least favorites lists. Well, there we go. Now people are going to start hating on me in the comments. Well, Alex,
Alright,
it's
well,
up to you.
Alex,
You're the person who's going to have to get no hate.
Congratulations on your new solo podcast. Hope you know how to use this.
Okay, see ya.
God damn it!
Alright.
Alright, we've been going for a solid
Should we
7 or 8
move on
minutes
before we
now,
get left
and,
behind?
Yeah, alright, so let's start with the first song. We're doing this chronologically, not by album, because fuck you. It's just easier that way.
Sorry.
So we'll be starting with Higher by Modestep, the first proper Modestep single. We got a remix of Stick Up, like way back in the day. By way back in the day, I mean like a year, 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago.
Back in the 1990s.
Back
Sounds about right.
back when the Triceratops were roaming the earth, and back when... You know what? I was
long
gonna
fucking
make a
time,
puppet
basically.
joke, but I was gonna make a puppet joke, but I didn't. So yeah, Higher is. We'll start with you, Andrew, because you have interesting opinions on Modestep.
Oh, so, when Modestep, released their first album, it was, Modestep was like, we're like getting really big, and then they released their album and it sucked. But then they released their second album, and it was good. And then they released Living for the Weekend, and it made me give up hope on Modestep. But this brought that hope back. It felt like a really classic Modestep track. The vocals are great from whatever the fuck his name is.
Josh.
Yeah, Josh.
Joshua.
I'm glad that even though the beginning doesn't super fit the drop, I still really like it, and I'm glad that it didn't go into a future-based section, because their consistency with trap-based genres isn't very good. But yeah, great song. I don't know if I need to will I put it on the album or not.
Are we gonna do
No,
blank
no.
out of 10?
We could do blank out of 10. That might be a better way to do it, because since I'm gonna have different guests for each part, there's not really gonna be much consistency. So there's no point to do the ranking, because then everyone will have an incomplete ranking.
Okay, I'm gonna give that an 8.365 out of 10.
Alright.
All right, Alejandro.
Alright.
All right. Yeah,
So-
Gabe, you can go next because I think you're gonna touch on a point that I want to touch on. I don't want to steal your thunder with that.
So, I have no idea what you're talking about, but we'll see if maybe I come across it. So, something about this song, it's not like, in my opinion, it's not really like Modestep's other songs. And I really like the heavy contrast with the drop in the rest of the song. I like how it just randomly decides to, oh, it's screechy dubstep now. Oh, that's fun. And then Josh's vocals are great. Although I feel like they were better in another song by Modestep that's on Monstercat, known as Going Nowhere.
Stickup.
But oh yes, my favorite song with Josh's vocals on it, Stickup. But there's not really too much else I have to say about this song. I just think it's a solid track, and I like screechy songs. So yeah, I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, you did not touch on what I was going to talk about, so that's good.
Aye.
I was going to talk about the contrast between the future bass and the dubstep, because I think that totally that can either make or break your song, and in this case I think it makes it. Because Modestep isn't really known for being soft and future bassy. Like, they're known for having that sort of like metallic, almost like the Prodigy sort of feel to them, where they just kind of like very mechanical. Not metallic in like a Keizo way, but more like you'd hear this playing in a factory or something. And that doesn't really happen in the off drop, which is cool. And then the drop comes and you're like, oh, there's Modestep, that's cool. And
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
and I don't know. It's the kind of drop that I wouldn't always like. But I wouldn't say I'm like in love with it, but everything else is so good, and it doesn't overwhelm with the dubstep, and it doesn't overwhelm with the future bass. So I give it like a 9 out of 10. I think that's what I gave it in the video. It's a 9 or a 9.5, but I think it's pretty damn great. Alex?
Well, first of all, I've been a huge fan of Modestep for quite a while now. Like, they were one of the artists that introduced me into EDM and into dubstep as well. So, yeah, and I was really excited to hear that they were going to be coming back to the label with Higher, because I adored their remix of Stickup. The vocals during that are really, really solid, and I honestly thought it was going to be future bass, and I was a little bit let down by it. But then the drop came, and it was honestly sounds like something that I wouldn't really enjoy. But it clicked with me instantly. I really enjoyed the first listen, and I just couldn't stop listening to it. So yeah, it's a solid track. That's all I can say, and I really adore Modestep. So
Did you
yeah,
give it a score, or?
I would definitely give this at least a 9 out of 10. That's for sure.
Okay. We're all pretty consistent in our praise of it. And yeah, in my experience, most people like this song. There's not a whole ton of people that are willing to give it like a 10 out of 10, but there's also not many people that are like, oh, this song's terrible, I hate it. Like the next song we'll be talking about here. Spag Heddy's remix of Superhuman by SLANDER featuring Leva. Is it Leva or Leva? I don't.
It's Leva.
Lever.
Oh, yeah.
Just leaves, like the plants that grow on trees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
took
so
me
we
quite
got
a while.
leaves. Yeah, so we got Spag Heddy, who's not been on the label for 3.5 years. Going back to the remix of Quantum by Astronaut, which is a personal favorite of mine. But
same here.
Yep, it's
Gabe,
really good.
You're my rhythm aficionado. You're the guy who tells me, oh, this is rhythm, or oh, this isn't rhythm. So you get to talk about this one first.
So, I'd say this is rhythm because it's got a rhythm snare, and it's Spag Heddy with his typical basses that are kind of annoying after a while, which I guess will lead into my opinion. I thought the song was quite average until you get to the second drop, because the second drop's really, really good, where it kind of like mixes those rhythm aspects with the melodic, that melody, I guess. And that kind of really pushes the song up for me. Because personally on my list, it's number 17, I'm pretty sure. So it's like right in the middle. So if that like second drop wasn't in there, it'd probably be one of my least favorites from this album, because then it wouldn't really be anything special. It's just Spag Heddy basses and rhythm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I give this song like a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm glad you. Yeah, that second drop is really cool. I reckon it. I don't think I've heard a song like that that combines rhythm with melodic dubstep like that, and it's like I would give that segment of the song probably like a 7 or an 8 out of 10, just out of like for originality's sake. Even though I don't necessarily love everything going on, I would give the off drop like a 5, whatever. It's whatever, and I would give the first drop like a 0.5 out of 10. I just do not like that kind of dubstep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel kind of bad that I'm unable to really judge it on its quality since it all kind of blends together for me. But I am a human with biases, so sorry about that. I give it a 3 out of 10 on my ranking because again, it combines one part that's a 7 or so out of 10, one part that's like a 5 or so out of 10, and one part that's like a 0 out of 10. So
I wanna add on to mine.
Just a 4.
I wanna add on to mine.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of, and there's probably gonna be like 1 or 2 people that kind of get mad at me for saying this. I'm not a fan of Spag Heddy using like the same basses in his songs over and over again. Like they all sound basically the same. But regardless, I think he uses them in a creative way in this song. So that's why
I can't really say anything
6.5.
about that because I don't listen to enough Spag Heddy to be able to like. I don't know if there's like I've listened to like anything by him outside of his 2 remixes on Monstercat. I'm probably wrong. I probably listened to something else, but
yeah.
I don't know. Alex?
Well, the original Superhuman was only an okay release to me, and it's probably died down by now. But it was kind of okay seeing Spag Heddy back, but because I like everything that Spag Heddy does except his rhythm. And this is no exception, unfortunately. I think he's got a pretty good idea with his take on the original, and the second drop is nice, and the off drop is okay. But the first drop doesn't really do it for me at all. So unfortunately, that was what it was always going to keep this song down for me. So yeah, that's unfortunate.
What would you give it out of 10?
I would give it the second drop is alright, and the off drop is okay, and I'm not saying that's just because of what John said. This is actually my personal opinion.
No, we've established our deal with the same person,
yeah.
So...
Yeah. Nah. So I give it a 4 out of 10.
Okay. Andrew?
Alright.
Saving the best for last, I see.
Yes, yes.
I really like. I mean, I enjoy what he does in like the intro and the midsection with the little 4 on the floor parts with the vocals over them. It's cool. Not the greatest thing I've heard, but it's cool. The second drop is really the big standout from it, somehow mixing elements of rhythm and future bass. But I mean, it works. The other two drops just they don't really click with me. I just think they're pretty standard for Spag Heddy. Don't think he really switches anything up with that. But I mean, the second drop surprised me. So I mean, it impressed me at least a bit. But overall, the track wasn't that good. That was just a phenomenal reveal of mine. Yeah. And I'd give it like a 5 out of 10, keeping it pretty
Glad
standard.
we're all huge fans of this one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little bit until it gets any better. So
Yeah.
at least
Alright.
for me.
We're on to the third song of the day, The Meaning by Gent Jawns. I think I just said that like that was from Boston. Maybe that's Ethan rubbing off on me. It's his debut, despite what the name would make you think it's one guy now. It used to be Gent Jawns, now it's just a Gent. Thank you, I'll be leaving now.
I think I made that joke.
I'm pretty sure you did. I saw someone in my comment
yeah.
section make it today, and I was like, I've got to use this. But,
You disappoint me.
yeah, I disappoint myself too. So the meaning, I'll discuss it first since Ethan's not here. It's actually Ethan's #1 of the entire album, and I feel kind of bad because in our like little group rankings that we have, he's like one of 2 or 3 people that have it in the top half of the album. I don't hate it though. I have it at like 22ish or so. I gave it like a 6 or 6.5 out of 10. I just think it has very high highs and very average floors. The off drop I actually really like. I like this sort of like speech type of samples. I'm trying to think of who it reminds me of. Maybe like I was gonna say like Never Modern Talk, but it's not really quite the same. But I like that. The first and third drops, which are very super saw laden, I think those are pretty cool. I think Slippy does it better with Promise Me, but I like where he goes with this one. It's just sort of like, I don't want to say bland, it just doesn't really do anything special other than just having super saws in a trap section. And then the second and fourth drops are where the song kind of loses me, because it just sounds really slow. Like it's just got it's got the bass, and it's got like that main like lead sound that doesn't really have much going for it, and the song just kind of, during these points, they only last like 20 or 30 seconds, but they just sort of lose me, and that's kind of what prevents this song from being any higher for me. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's a solid song. It just could have been a lot better, which is a theme of Gent Jawns' EP for me. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about another one of his songs on the next podcast. But
hell yeah.
Andrew?
Yeah, it's I can say the song's better than the cover art.
No, yeah, the cover art.
The window washer.
Yeah.
The window washer.
It's
That's interesting.
It's a good song, but it definitely has problems. The you know, the speech, the we wrought the sound stuff just gets kind of annoying. I guess it's kind of cool. Like, it's cool in the first listen, but it gets old on like any other listen. It has cool production. Knowing I knew who Gent Jawns was/were before the mystery track on the like Uncaged Volume 3 podcast previewing this happened, and this was better than I expected. It's a cool track. It's a good blend of, you know, some trap with a little bit of feature-based element. But I have to agree with John that the short little sections that I guess would be like the B section of the first and second drop are kind of bland. They just kind of don't really fit the song and feel like filler. So I'd give it like a 6.5 out of 10, I guess.
I will mention before I move on to someone else that I would say this is definitely my favorite off of the EP. Considering I gave it a 6 out of 10, that should kind of tell you a lot about what I feel about the EP as a whole. But alright, Alex, we'll move on to you.
I hate to also still be in the minority here, but I'm not a huge Gent Jawns fan at all. I've really only heard a couple of songs from him outside of the label, and they don't click with me at all. And this, although being somewhat a little bit better than some of the songs that I've heard from him, it's still something that I don't usually listen to, and I did actually somewhat enjoy it when it came out, but it grew off me pretty quickly, and that's I'm not sure. I just got bored of it. I guess like the drop was only okay to me. The off drop I thought was actually pretty cool, and the sample that Gent Jawns uses there is well, it certainly has a lot of fuck. What's the word?
I have no
Anyway.
idea.
I have no idea where the fuck I was going there. Oh god. Anyway, what I was saying is that it grew off me. The off drop is really nice. I think it's got some cool things happening, and the vocal sample there that he uses is a cool addition, I guess you could say. The drop has grown off me, and that forces the song down for me. So it'll get a 6 out of 10 from me.
It's really funny that you say. I feel like I'm in the minority by saying I don't like Gent Jawns. Considering
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
I got a comment on my video today that says, "quote unquote," I'm getting the feeling you absolutely despise Gent Jawns.
I saw that. I saw that.
Absolutely despise. I just none of their stuff really has like.
Yeah,
my ears.
I don't really get that. Like, if you put an artist's song low, apparently you hate them all of a sudden.
Yeah, I remember getting
really
a guy that was
understood that.
like, "Well, you have all of Pegboard
Pegboard
Nerds songs
Nerds.
so low. What
Yeah.
did they ever do to you?" Like, okay.
Alright,
Yep.
so...
anyway.
Yeah, you get.
Alright. So I'm actually a really big fan of Gent Jawns. And I have been for a while. Just because, yeah, they're pretty good. I like their remix of Biters by Zomboy. It's a great remix. But I have to agree with like everyone else. I get bored of the drops in this song. It feels way too slow for me. The only real thing that I like about this song are the vocal samples, because they're cool, I guess. They add atmosphere to the off drop. And I don't really like the off drop that much, but yeah. I think it's alright. I give the song like a 3 out of 10. Not really much else I can add.
I forgot to mention one thing. Sorry, I mean, you were pretty much done. Cool. Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Gent Jawns left Mad Decent and released on Monstercat. I mean, they might have not left Mad Decent, but or he might have. But I'm shocked that he's releasing here, considering like he's been with Mad Decent for a while, and he's literally collabed with the owner Diplo.
Yeah.
So it surprises me.
And
Also,
Mad Decent isn't. This isn't like a horizontal jump. Like Mad Decent's pretty big as far as like labels go.
I mean, I'd say. I mean, it's bigger than Monstercat. I'd
Oh,
say.
definitely. Yeah, I agree. It's.
I
Like
would
up there
argue
with
though that
Ozla.
Monstercat's
some
getting a
people-
lot of attention right now, and I feel
Yeah.
like that would
Mhm.
make a lot of sense.
I so some people would go, well, Monstercat has like 6 million subscribers, and Mad Decent only has like 1 million. But like,
That's not a good measure.
well, I don't use YouTube very much for
Right.
listening to music, and
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I-
think.
And
I'm that
also, like,
electronic
they
into
they
it.
appeared on Never Say Die as well.
It's interesting. I did not know that. I think they were on Mad Decent. I didn't realize they were on Never
Yeah.
Say Die before.
They released on Never Say Die with their remix of Biters by Zomboy. So,
Oh, okay. That
Yeah.
would make sense.
which is big. Like, remixing Zomboy is quite
Yeah,
quite the
Zomboy's another huge
accomplishment
name.
on-
Yeah.
yeah. So that's even more of a interesting thing, I guess.
It's just an interesting choice for them because they're not. I mean, like they're on big labels already, but I wouldn't say they're a huge name that's able to sort of do well no matter where they go. Like, I would say Infected Mushroom has kind of gotten to that point. Same with Modestep, where wherever they release, they could release on like some small indie label, and they would still, or just self-release, and they would still get a ton of pub. I would say so. I don't know if Gent Jawns or just Gent, whatever, is really at that point yet.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds for him because
Oh, he also released on Flostradamus's label,
really, what's
Yeah.
what's Flostradamus's label?
High Def Youth. It's kind of not very active.
Yeah, I was. Gonna say,
I remember
I've never heard of that.
they had a relaunch a couple months ago, like okay, like we're coming back, and they haven't released a song since then, so that's chilling. How it's not. Flush Drums is a huge name, but the label isn't doing particularly strongly.
Oh, they have Party Thieves on there and Yultron. Okay, interesting. I like how the description on SoundCloud is High Def Youth is the label from legendary trap artist Flowstradamus. I just like the idea that he's referring to himself as a legendary trap producer.
Yeah, but I'd say he's pretty legendary.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing. It's just funny. Like, I would be like, if my description would be like, this channel is owned by legendary opinion man Red Hawk. Like, it doesn't matter.
Legendary opinion man.
Well, I guess when it was founded, they were still a duo.
Oh, what's your career? Oh, I'm legendary opinion man. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess they changed, or that sounded like it sounded like that was referring to one person, so I guess maybe it was written after they split up.
Maybe.
Hi.
I don't know.
Should we get started on our next track?
I don't have any sort of I don't really have any sort of a segue here. Next up we have Body Moving by Stonebank, his first dubstep song. It's labeled trap by Monstercat, but it's dubstep.
It's another genre war track. Like, there's people that say it's drum step, and then people that say it's dubstep.
Wait, did you say it's his first dubstep song?
It's since I was gonna say it's his first since his debut on Monstercat Eagle Eyes.
Yeah, you better.
Yeah, and if it's drum step, it's his first since Soldier, one of Gabe's favorite tracks. So.
Yeah, we know it.
Yeah, so, Alex, since you're the closest thing we have to a Brit, you can talk about this British rap track first.
Be careful, mate.
I mean,
I honestly have no idea, because Body Moving is pretty cool, I guess. Like, it's kind of sneaked into guilty pleasure level for me, and the vocals are pretty good, but and when the first drop comes, it's something that I really know I probably shouldn't enjoy, but for some reason do. And so that's probably why it comes into guilty pleasure level. It was cool seeing WizKid back, as I honestly didn't expect them to be back on the label. I don't know why, just maybe because I haven't seen them in a while. But yeah, no, Stonebank Body Moving. It's pretty cool, and I don't mind it at all. So it'll get a 6.5 out of 10 from me.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna just go for this one.
Yeah, go for it.
So, I like this song a lot, and while I'm not too big of a fan of the off drop, WizKid's performance absolutely carries it, like 100%. I didn't expect his performance to be that great, since what was the other song that he was on?
Step Up.
Step Up.
God.
Yeah, Step Up.
In 2014.
He has really improved as a vocalist since then. That's what I'll say, because damn, his voice is nice in Body Movement, in my opinion. Plus the drop's really nice. I kind of like the swing it has to it, and I like a lot of the sounds that Stonebank uses in the drop, especially that second drop. It's really nice. But yeah, overall I give this song an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
It's like I think it's my number 11 on the album, or something like that. So.
Yeah, I think I remember you having it higher than a lot of people. Andrews, does WizKid match to Yeezy as far as rap prowess goes?
No, but yeah, that's a good old no.
I'll be right back.
The only thing that I really enjoy about the really track is really just I really like the really good I enjoy the first 20 seconds of the track a lot. It's not exactly the largest praise saying, wow, those first 20 seconds were really good, but I think the snare is really crisp and nice, and I think it's like one of the only things that really sticks out to me as far as the track goes. But I guess WizKid's better than before, but I don't really care about his performance. And I mean, I guess I'm also biased because I've just never been a big fan of grime and UK rap stuff.
Mhm.
I've never really clicked with it.
So
and
not even Big Shaq.
Well, that's an exception. I do love me some dead memes, so.
Hey.
What? Hey.
Big Shaq on the
drop just does not. The drop in this song, not the song that I think we're talking about next, is it just doesn't do anything for me. It's kind of bland and it just doesn't do anything to excite me. It's got some good production value, but nothing makes me want to listen to this song again.
Right.
So I'd give it I guess like a 3.
Wow.
I don't enjoy it at all, really.
Okay.
There's nothing
Really?
that excites me. Yeah, really.
I'm like
Really?
half a milli. I can't say that next word in that lyric on the podcast. But alright.
So you'd say it if you weren't recording?
Nah. I'm not from the I'm from the South. I can't get away with it. But so yeah, body moving is interesting for me because it's a song. It's like, for me, if I ever redo the most forgettable songs on Monstercat in like a year, I feel like this is one that would probably be on there. But it's interesting because I have maybe not interesting opinions, but I have opinions on pretty much every like part of the song. Like there's nothing that's sort of just like to me. Like it's all either good or bad, like, or either good or mediocre or whatever. So WizKid's rapping, this song. First of all, this song gets a lot of comparisons to Moving Hectic, and I was definitely guilty of this. But in all reality, I would say the rap is the only thing that can really compare to Moving Hectic, and in that aspect, I think Harry Shada did it way better than WizKid. But WizKid's last vocal performance, I think, was like kind of hilariously bad personally. Like in Step Up, I just can't do it. He sounds like he's like the MC for like Cupid Shuffle or a song like that, and I can't do it. Alex, I think you disagree with me on that, but
Are you calling Cupid Shuffle a bad track?
Also, fun fact, my phone just started ringing then, so I had to mute real quick. It was a stupid number, so it's all good.
fucking normies.
I think you're mistaken. Cupid Shuffle's a masterpiece.
Oh, Cupid Shuffle is great, but it's not what I listen to for hip hop incredible like
Step up,
verses.
make your body rock. Gotta keep the drop till you hit the top. So keep dancing all around the block. When the morning comes, no, you don't stop.
I think we
Yeah.
need to let Andrew have this
I
outburst.
kind of wish it would just stop. But as far as the drop goes, it's interesting. There's a lot of sounds that I really like, and a lot of sounds that are like okay, but don't really take anything away. But even though it's at like 160 BPM or something like that, I feel like the song is just way too slow, and the drop sort of meanders for a while. Especially when it comes around the second time, it's like a minute long, and it kind of loses me again. It's really, I don't know, but I really like what the song is going for in the off drop. Besides, I mean, the rap is okay, but like I wouldn't say it's like anywhere close to as good as like Moving Hectic or some other songs like that. But I really like the sort of dramatic feel that the song is going for too. Even though I think, again, Moving Hectic kind of does that better. I think this sort of goes for a different sort of dramatic feel, so I think it works. But I don't know. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. I think it's, I don't know, it's good. I don't think it's anything super special, especially for Stonebank, who's done really well with these kind of tracks before, with stuff like Holding On to Sound and Chokehold as far as rap goes, and then stuff like Soldier and I guess Soldier as far as like, I don't know, dubsteppy, drumsteppy stuff. So, or if you're gonna go with the trap route, I would say Never Looking Back and what was the Stonebank song on Uncaged Volume 2? Feel It. I thought Feel It was better too, and the drop at least.
I feel it, I feel it.
That's a song that's grown on me a little bit since it came out, but I don't know. It has a drop. I'm only saying that to use the shittiest segue ever into our next song, "The Drop" by Gammer, which is fun.
My God. Mind if I take
I was gonna say, yeah, since this song has sort of like, it has like planes in it and Slippy Toad flew a plane, you can lead us off.
My rival Slippy Toad, you know.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna start by saying I believe on my favorite songs of 2017 that were on Monstercat, I believe Gammer showed up 8 times on that list. I believe all of his releases on Monstercat showed up, except Beam of Light.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan of Gammer. Don't know if that was apparent, but The Drop is a song that I was incredibly hyped up for because I remembered it being played at Nightmare's Lollapalooza set in, I think it was 2016. And
damn, really that far back?
I mean, it's Gammer. Gammer like never releases his IDs.
That's
so
true.
there's like sitting there for ages. I think Let's Get Crunk was from a 2016 mix as well. So this song is, the off drop is really, really pleasant, and the drops are incredible. Like, I don't know how Gammer does it, but just like that weird like whisk sound in the drop, I really like that, and especially the part where it goes full time. I like that the most. Overall, I really like this song. It's my number 9 on the album, so I say all these things about it, and it still isn't even like top 5.
Yeah, it's not like in the top quarter of the album for you.
I'd give this a 9.5 out of 10. It's really great song. One of Gammer's best, and that says a lot because I really like Gammer. But you know, it's gonna be really hard to beat Feel Like This for me. So.
Ooh, man, Feel Like This is a song. I'll leave it at that. I'll go next. Gammer on Monstercat, his 2 like sort of trancey sigh stuff, his 2 remixes of Superhuman and Go Berserk are some of my favorite of last year. I think both are incredible. I think I honestly underrated both of them when it came to my best of 2017. I think I had the Superhuman remix at like 28 or something, and I didn't have the Go Berserk remix in my top 30. I think they'd probably both be there now and higher. But everything else, I wasn't really a huge fan of. But The Drop is a nice little change to that because, I don't know, this is sort of like one of those textbook examples of songs that shouldn't work but do. Because The Drop is, it's pretty much all high end. Like the bass is there, but it's not like super prominent. But you have that main sound, that very like, I don't want to say obnoxious because I don't think it's obnoxious, but I can see how you could think that. That just like very, it's there. Lead is like very high on the frequency spectrum, and there's also a lot of other things that are going on that are very like pitchy, if that makes any sense. But I think it all works, and I really don't know how. The off drop is, I compared that little melody to like a Zelda melody. That's what it reminds me of, and it really shouldn't work with the drop, but it just kind of does, and I don't know. It sort of proved to me that Gammer can do this sort of bassy stuff, because songs like Let's Get Crunk and Stay Tonight weren't really the best example of that for me, but the drop is good. I like it a lot. I think it's worthy of the praise. I give it 8 out of 10. It's basically my benchmark for like everything under the drop is like passable at best, and everything over the drop is really damn good in my ranking. That's kind of it fills that void.
One thing I want to add, not a fan of like this hate bandwagon that Gammer seems to have on Monstercat.
Oh, I agree 100%.
It's the same thing that happened with like Karma Fields, and the same thing that happened with oh fuck. There's another example I had, but I lost it. Oh, Pegboard Nerds, when they were in their like dubstep era. Like if they released anything, everyone would just hate on it, and that's still happening. Like I would say really...
Supersonic and Extraordinary kinda are exceptions to the rule, but yeah, other than that, pretty much everything they've made since like Superstar has gotten that sort of vitriolic reaction.
And I don't dislike Superstar because Pegboard Nerds. I'm a really big fan of PBN personally. Like some of their songs are rising up to one of my favorites, especially Heaven Let Us Down. That song is really coming up in my... Been listening to that a lot lately. I don't like Superstar just because I feel like it's really random and all over the place and super unorganized. But besides the point, people need to stop hating on the artist just because they made the song. Not like they just need to stop. If you're gonna give a song that much negativity, then at least have a proper reasoning for it. And it's really hard to have a proper reasoning for giving that much hate to something.
Right, or someone. These are people.
Yeah, I don't get. Okay, I don't get when people say like they hate an artist. I don't get that.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll never do unless they're like super scummy. What?
Yeah.
Like with the one guy from IFE, not Alex Mine, but the other guy. Like that's kind of warranted because that guy was kind of scummy if I remember right. But like. Someone like Gammer, who otherwise seems like a really cool guy, just because you don't like his music doesn't mean you should dislike him. And I feel like that should probably go without saying, but sometimes...
Gammer has a hella personality. Like, Gammer is a lively person.
What was the one thing you said during the podcast? Like, Monstercat is the best family. Sometimes I'll tell my kids that they're just not as good as Monstercat.
Oh yeah, they're just not as good as Monstercat. That's one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah.
It's great. He's an interesting fella, and I like him a lot. He's really cool.
I always like when people like that make songs that I like, because I've always kind of felt like Connor is a pretty cool guy, so I'm glad I finally can shower praise on one of his tracks, and that's sort of how Gammer
Oh my god, really
same. Same here.
I bashed on Connor when Connecting the Dots came out, and I'm actually kind of starting to regret that.
I don't regret it because I still don't really enjoy. I don't like 80% of that EP, but I'm glad I don't have to bash on Take Me There because you know.
Yeah. Same here.
Alright, this is not a podcast about Take Me There. Only half of us are talking about the drop. So Gabe, or not Gabe, I said the one person that has talked about it. Alex!
Oh, let me just continue!
Yeah, well, Gammer as a whole is becoming one of those artists who's growing on me quite a bit. When he released his first collab with Darren Styles on Monstercat, Feel Like This, I got onto that song really, really well, and he's basically risen until the first part of this EP happened when I heard Let's Get Crunk. But and yeah, that's pretty much the only song from the EP that I don't enjoy fully. I really like Stay Tonight. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or not, but the drop came, and the drop it's a pretty cool song. Like I enjoyed it really well when it first came out. I mean, it may have grown off me a little bit, but that doesn't really say much, as it's got some really cool things happening, and yeah, he's done really well with this entire EP, honestly, even though there's one song which I don't enjoy, but yeah, the drop certainly is a highlight, and there's a lot of really, really cool things going on in there, so I give it a 7 out of 10.
Also, I'd like to just say that liking Stay Tonight is indeed an unpopular opinion, and also it's one of my favorite songs of all time. So,
yeah,
like,
I did know that.
It's liking is an unpopular opinion, so Gabe's probably got it in his top 100 on the list.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay.
Sweat, highlight, boom, over the edge, you name it, he likes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Andrew, it's your turn.
Yeah. So this song is it shouldn't be great, but it's fantastic. That sample shouldn't work, but it does. The like da da da, like that fucking sound in the drop shouldn't work, but it does. And that the breakdown, the drop does not fit at all with like the intro part, and yet the song just is fucking great. I don't know why, but everything just somehow works. The really melodic intro is just really nice and pretty, and then it goes a lot heavier and leads into the build up, and then you get that fucking crazy sample, and just like I know I just said this, but like it shouldn't work, but it works so well. I'm not a huge fan of Gammer's music, but this song just like, I mean, it was just so shockingly great. That's really all I have to say, because otherwise I'd just repeat the same point.
I agree. It's like nothing should work in this song, but it just all meshes. Like, it's something weird that I'm noticing about a lot of music lately. Like, it's also in higher. Like, the aspects of the songs shouldn't mesh, but they just end up working in the end.
Okay, but yeah, I'm gonna give that an 8.5 out of 10.
Alright. On to Spitfire, the debut for Infected Mushroom. The third artist debut that we're talking about here. And Infected Mushroom, I would argue, might be even bigger than both Gent Jawns and Modestep. They've been around for so long, they've collaborated with so many big names. They've basically pioneered the psytrance genre, so... Andrew, since they're from Israel and you're of Jewish descent, you get to lead this one off.
That's fucking... You can't leak my religion. You just doxed me.
Doxing him.
Okay, well...
I love your theming here, mate.
Yeah.
So, Monstercat's fixed this now, but it used to be that whenever a new artist was debuting in the label, they'd appear on the Spotify page. They'd appear if you search Monstercat, like label Monstercat, and then looked at the artist. You could see artists who would be re-releasing soon. So
that was how Tasca Black's thing got leaked, right?
Yeah. So I got tipped off by, I want to say Hoxie. I don't know if I can name drop him. Censor that part.
Okay.
Okay. I got tipped off by a certain person who's good at finding that shit, and I was just hyped out of my mind. And Monstercat posts the little 30-second previews before podcasts start. And I don't remember what else was on the podcast, but I just remember the third thing I heard was just some dope-ass psytrance, and I was just omega hype. And I told everybody I could find, like, fuck, dude, the Infected Mushroom's playing on this podcast. And the songs is so fucking good. We haven't had, like, a 7-minute long song in so long.
I mean, you could say Spectrum's the last song that was sort of like an epic like this in that regard. But
yeah, but, like, other than that,
actually
like,
going over 7 minutes.
Okay, just talk over me! Okay, well, Spectrum didn't go over 7 minutes. It was like 6:55 or something. But
well, last track that did it was Renzo Kukin. Or no, I'm sorry, Just Wait For It. So.
Well, yeah, but okay, I was getting to that.
Love. I'm dumb.
Oh my god, you're just an omega cuck.
I'm muting.
Yeah, you better. So, like, for some reason, there was just such a large drought of long songs on Monstercat. You know, we had a good amount in, like, 2013, late 2012, early 2014, and then they just disappeared. And, other than, So Much Love and that one version of Saving Light that doesn't really exist in high quantities anymore, because I think it only exists on, like, Beatport or something. We haven't really, and then fucking So Much Love, we haven't really had something this long and so kind of so cool and like innovative as far as Monstercat songs go. I mean, obviously, psytrance isn't a new genre, but it's super cool to see it come to Monstercat. We had some Psy-influenced stuff before, but this is like the first really traditional psytrance track we heard. And just everything about it is fucking awesome. That super, you know, the horns that go in the intro, the kind of minimalist first part where like chords just play in the background, and then you hear like the guitar riff, and then it's similar to the first breakdown, I guess, except it has a snare now, and it has that guitar riff going through, and it's just like this whole track, like, it feels like The Tunnel by Jay Cosmic, where it's like, oh, we gotta build a track, like, we keep adding elements, but it's actually good. Like, that's the difference, is that this does it well and doesn't just make it a gimmick. The track kind of builds itself as it goes along, and it's just fucking 7 minutes of awesomeness. So yeah, I give that a solid like 10 out of 10.
So
give it a 10 out of 17.
Feels like that speech went for 7 minutes as well.
Yeah.
Wow, fuck you.
Sorry, mate.
All right. You mind if I take this one from here?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Well, okay.
I'll cut that.
Okay. So I wanted to add, because Andrew brought up the whole label Monstercat thing, that, spoilers everyone, there's a new artist listed on that. His name is Witwix. I've never heard of him before, but yeah, he's listed on that label Monstercat
that's a fuck
thing.
up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I saw Tiasu on there too.
Tiasu are both fuck ups.
Yeah, Tiasu's not
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so, anyways, gonna...
Good ultra, you know, first look news that you gave them.
I know.
Yeah.
My fake news. I'm good at that. Alright.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, Spitfire.
So Gabe, do you like Spitfire or no?
We'll get to that after the commercial break. No, I'm kidding. So, Spitfire, awesome atmosphere, cool, like, world building. I don't like it at all. It just, I give it benefit of the doubt for, like, creating that atmosphere in the off drop. I think that's what even boosts the song at all. I see you changed your name to a sad face, Alex.
Sorry, I'll change it back.
That's a winky sad
I'll
face.
change it back.
Oh yeah, a winky sad face.
People can
Alright.
see that on the recording. They can see that.
I'm sorry, I'll change it back. There we go.
Yeah.
There's a certain person out there that I talk to regularly that also does not like Spitfire. Glad that I have someone to relate to, so that's nice.
Who can relate?
Andrew, fuck you.
Whoa!
But there's not really much else I have to say other than it does a cool job at building like a world, but then psytrance, bass, drum. You could have done so much more with that atmosphere, but I just feel like it goes to waste with the psytrance elements. But not a bad song. I just feel like there's a lot of wasted potential. I give it a 2.5 out of 10.
Man.
Hey,
Ouch.
Gabe, you wanna know a fun fact?
Sure,
You suck.
I know
Got
that.
him.
Don't be rude.
Sorry, Gabe. I love you.
I love you too,
Alright,
Andrew.
I'm gonna redeem it now that Gabe has totally slandered the song. Yeah, this is I'll preface by saying I give this a 9.5 out of 10, and that's only because of a couple small things that aren't really even that important. It's just it kind of keeps it from being a perfect song. But I would like to echo most of what Andrew said. The song is 7 minutes. It's epic. incorporates all sorts of different like influences. Obviously, it's a psytrance song, so it's gonna have that techno, like sort of psychedelic feel to it. But it also has rock elements, like that guitar riff in the second and fourth drop. It's got that fucking Middle Eastern vibe to it, and some of the off drop parts. It's got whatever that stringed instrument is that sounds very like Arabic in sound. And I don't know, it's just like the whole song kind of develops a different feel for each part of the song, which is always really cool. The third drop is probably my favorite. It's got that very classic Infected Mushroom melody to it, and I'm a big fan of that. And the whole song is just, it sounds like an Infected Mushroom song, but done really, really well. Because I don't love all Infected Mushroom songs. Like I generally they're very hit and miss for me, but this is an absolute hit. I think they did a really good job of making a song that's sometimes not the most accessible, but overall it's not like too far out there, but at the same time it has a lot more going on, I think, than your typical, you know, EDM song, especially on the Uncaged Volume 4 compilation.
So, I wanna, fuck, I was gonna add something, but I just lost it there. It'll come back to me.
We can let Alex go, yeah.
Talking, yeah.
Okay, I am on the positive, so don't worry. Sorry, Gabe. Sorry, mate. I still love Stay Tonight. Anyways, moving on. No, I feel like majority the same way about Infected Mushroom. Like they have some great releases and they have some which I'm not a fan of, but this happens to be one of their best. As soon as it came out, I was really, really hooked, and I was really hyped when I heard they were coming, and that the genre was actually psytrance. I'm glad that Monstercat changed it from electronic to psytrance on the website. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of any type of trance. Like any type of trance, you name it, I'll probably enjoy it. And this here is absolutely no exception. I really love the minimal sound that goes on throughout the drop, and the instrumentals, including that guitar, the Arabian/orchestral off drop at the beginning are amazing. There are a lot of world buildings here, and yeah, I love almost every second of this track. Also, shouts to the Electric Cat. This was his #1 of 2017. But yeah, this gets a 10 out of 10 from me. It's absolutely solid track, and I love it to bits.
Alright, so I remembered what I was gonna say. I just want to say that I believe it was a cover, but Infected Mushroom's cover of The Pretender by Foo Fighters, I think.
Yeah, Foo Fighters. Yeah,
that is one of the greatest pieces of music ever created, and I'm sticking by that. One of my favorite songs of all time.
I think you mispronounced Kanye West "Runaway."
Oh, yeah, I think I may have.
You might want to fix that. You maybe got something caught in your throat or something.
The original song, the original Foo Fighters song holds so much nostalgia, but I think the remix does it justice. I wouldn't say it's like favorite of all time, but yeah, no, I'm glad you bring that one up. That's a really good one. Also, this has nothing really to do with this podcast, but I just realized that they've had 3 new genres on the YouTube releases in the last 3 months. They had psytrance, halftime, and dancehall pop. That's pretty cool.
Dancehall pop.
Also, I want to clarify something to what Gabe said before. So, Hiyasu and Witwix released the Starting Soon EP in 2016 that consisted of Starting Soon, a VIP mix of that track, an orchestral mix of that track, a jazz mix of that track, and a synthwave mix of that track, released under quote-unquote Monstercat Gaming. So that is why they get labeled down there.
Alright.
Well, thank you for clarifying it so I don't look like a shitty news provider.
No.
Alright.
Alright. Well, let's move on to the 7th track, and I would say the only one that doesn't feel like it really... Well, I'd say one of 2 that it really doesn't feel like it belongs on this compilation at all, but it's here, so we're going to talk about it. It's Eyes Wide Open by Bishu. Originally crediting Sophie Rose, but I don't know what happened with that. But,
Sophie Rose went Sophie Nope and just didn't
Yeah.
want credit.
Sophie,
I definitely want to lead this one off because
Okay, I was gonna say you could go last, but it's up to you.
you know what? Yeah, we'll go last. That works.
All right, Alex, you can lead us off on this one.
Okay, so can I just say that I'm not the biggest Bishu fan. It's nothing. I don't really have much against him. Ow!
I'm sorry.
What was that for?
I got triggered. I had to read.
Became a human
real
dog
fast.
whistle for a second.
Oh, yeah.
So, can you let me
sorry.
finish next time you read?
I'm sorry.
I've got anyway. What I was saying, I've got nothing against Bishu. Like, he's a really talented artist, but just his style is just one that doesn't necessarily sit with me, unfortunately. But no, I'm not saying he's bad at all. No way, no way. Bomb has grown on me since it came out. Like, the drop is really unique and something that the label hasn't seen before. I can understand why a lot of people didn't like it though, but it's grown on me and the vocals are pretty cool. Eyes Wide Open, however, is I think a lot more calm and a lot more stable than the crazy song that was Bomb. It's got some nice vocals and it's the off drop is pretty nice, but the drop comes and it's unfortunately not my favorite thing. Like, oh shit, is my mic still working?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I'll just fiddle with the chord. But what was the drop in Eyes Wide Open is only okay to me. Like, it's not necessarily anything that I would find groundbreaking, and the vocals are pretty good. So yeah, this will get a 6.5 out of 10 from me.
Okay, I'll piggyback off of that because my opinion.
I hope that's a fair reasoning.
Yeah, I agree with you a lot on that. I think the vocals are actually like really cool, like, which is a nice turn because I didn't really care for, is it Lyette's bomb vocals? I didn't really care for those that much, but these are a lot better. They're a lot more even. I had a comparison to another vocalist, but I've totally lost it. But the drop, I feel like if the drop was a banger, like if it had more bass to it and it sort of like had that sort of oomph, I feel like I would have liked it a lot more because it's really just a lot of high ends, which I get a feeling that's just sort of Bishu's style. That's just what he goes for. But it kind of makes the song lack any punch whatsoever for me, and I'm sure that's fine for a lot of people, but for me, I would have liked this song more if it was just like a standard trap song or something like that. It's still definitely not bad. I like the breakdown is really cool on this one. I like it a lot, and overall the whole off drop is great just because of Sophie's vocals. But as a whole, I'm not a huge fan of this. I think I had it number 28 in the best of 2017. I'd probably stand by that now. I gave it I think I gave it a 6 out of 10 in the video. I think I'd probably lower that to like a 5.5 now. I think it's a good song, but I think it also could have been a lot better for me, personally. But, Andrew?
Yeah, I talked way too much about the last song, so I'll just say that, this song doesn't do anything for me. I wish I could have a lot more to say about it, but, like, it's not bad. I don't really care that it released, I guess. It's like Body Moving. Like, I don't think it's a bad track at its core. It just does not excite me to the point where I'd ever consider listening to it again. The Bomb wasn't received that well, but I enjoyed it, but it was had a lot of inspiration from Jack U, Skrillex and Diplo's Alias.
Yeah.
But this track it's not heavily influenced by anybody, I don't think, but I don't really think that, it's very interesting. Yeah, so it's like a 4.
Damn.
All right.
Prove me wrong now.
Well, I'm Okay, guess I got another unpopular opinion, boys. Let's go. Alright, Eyes Wide Open, my number 2 of the album. I really like Bishu's style. If that wasn't apparent by me putting Bomb at number 2 on the last album, I mean, Bishu's got 2 number 2s. But I really like his use of high end over low end. I don't know, lately I've been really into like squeaky sounding songs where they just, I don't know, they feel like they have a lot of, they feel really happy almost, and like super fun, which the vocals don't really fit that in my opinion, but I do think Sophie Rose's performance is really, really good. Not like Love Back On vocal performance good, but not like bad. But yeah, because, you know, Love Back On's probably my favorite vocal performance on Monstercat, but it's really, really good. Regardless if the lyrical content isn't, like, incredible. I really, really like what Bishu did with this song. It's a really good song, and I give it a 10 out of 10. So, yeah.
Nice.
Alright.
Alright, what's next?
What is our next?
Alright, next up is a song that I think all of us are going to have a lot to say about. We've got Lyra by MYRNE.
Mind if I start?
I was going to say, Gabe, you can start us off here because I think the other 3 of us are just going to be jerking this one off for the next 30 minutes.
If I end up going silent for the rest of this podcast, you can assume that one of them has come to my house and killed me.
It won't be me because I live all the way down here.
Yeah, I know it won't be you. Andrew's the closest.
The game.
So this song is probably one of the most universally liked songs on this album, I would say. Probably one of the most popular.
Yeah, that's for sure.
MYRNE is considered a trap god, and while I think he's a good producer, I cannot stand his trap. It feels, I don't like how loud it is, I guess, and I'm usually a big fan of louder stuff, but this song just, the snare really annoys me as well because it's overly loud and prominent, and the last drop, I like the last drop, but I don't think it fits a lot. It feels super out of place. Plus, like, why such an atmospheric intro and then these like weird ass vocals kick in? Like, I don't get that at all. It kills any atmosphere that the song had at the beginning. But anyway, I give this song a 1 out of 10. I don't like it at all.
Yikes.
I'm a get it all type person, so
Okay.
yeah, I can't really get into this song.
Fair.
Okay.
Alright, Alex, if you want to go next.
Okay. Right, so this happens to be my new favorite trap song on the label. Can I just point that out there?
Ouch.
I have a lot to say about this song. There is so much going on. It's one of the most complex songs that I think I've ever listened to. Like the piano at the start with that sort of, I guess you could say, eerie background to lead into the introduction is done really, really well, and all the way up to the lead up to the first drop, awesome. Those vocal chops really work well. Honestly, they sound really cool with the overall production of it. The first drop comes, and it's this Arabian thing. It honestly reminds me of a little bit of Anti-Hero by Noise Storm. Like the Arabian trap, I guess you could call it Arabian?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's definitely...
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like, the first and second drops, I honestly couldn't pick a favorite. They're both really, really cool. However, it's after that, we get a little section between the second and third. And then the third comes and completely steals the show for me. That third drop is unbelievable. Like, some of the best future bass I've heard on the label. MYRNE is an exceptional artist. He has a lot of great songs under his belt. This song reminds me a lot of Monarch, a collab he did with Crane a little while ago on Dim Mark, and it's a song that I absolutely adored. This is absolutely no different. I think I had this at number 4 on my best of 2017. And yeah, this MYRNE is great. He's done an exceptional job. This is his best song I think he's ever put out. Honestly, giving this a 10 doesn't seem high enough, but it'll get a 10 out of 10 from me. That was exceptional stuff. Who's next?
I'll go next because I think Andrew. I was gonna say you probably have a lot to say about it. I don't actually have much.
I want to go last on the next one because I think I have more to say about that.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. All right, you can go next here then.
Okay. So just everything about this track, even if it doesn't, well, I think it meshes really well, but I can see what Gabe means, right? Like the super atmospheric intro followed by some kind of, you know, vocals that you'd only ever hear in a build-up kind of stuff, just to hype you up for the breakdown, for the drop. It just works so well for me. It's like, I love atmospheric intros, and then I love those stupid fucking vocals that just hype you up. You know, it just excites me. It makes me hyped, and, you know, does its job. And God, I've never been the biggest fan of, like, Middle Eastern influenced trap that, like, has been taking over the scene kind of recently, but it's just so fucking good. I didn't expect MYRNE to top Lyra. Fuck me. I didn't expect MYRNE to top Monarch so soon, because, like, Crane's probably my favorite trap artist, but, like, he managed to top his collab with Crane with this. Just, I absolutely love the percussion in it. I think the percussion is, like, the thing that makes or breaks a lot of Middle Eastern style trap for me, but this one works so well. Or, I don't know if I said production or percussion, but percussion is what works just really well for me. And then it all leads up to where it's kind of, the reason I think the atmospheric intro works is it's kind of like, it's like, ooh, we can try the atmospheric stuff, and it's like, nah, we gotta go heavy, and then it comes back in the midsection, and then that leads up to the feature-based drop, I guess. I mean, I'm not gonna create a story behind it, but I think that's kind of how it is. And just, you know, it's just, I like the kind of vocal chops that happen in the last drop. Like that kind of, that shit that happens, and really, it's just an excellent track, and has one of the best intros / outros on this label. And so I give it a 10 out of 10. And by the way, fuck Corbin.
Thank you. No, I'm kidding.
Alright, I'll end on this one. It was my #1 of the year last year, and it's not even my #1 on this album. Love how that works. But we'll get to that.
This bad computer exists.
Yeah, an Australian boy named Craig makes music. So
who I might know personally. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So Lyra, you guys have both kind of talked about the drops. So for the most part, I'll just say the trap drops are actually technically my least favorite part of the song, but I still think they're killer. And like you were talking about, Andrew, I don't always love Arabian style like melodies. Sometimes it works really well, like Noise Storm does it a lot with stuff like Barracuda and Anti-Hero, but MYRNE does it really well here. It's basically the Middle Eastern equivalent to Monarch, which is always a good thing, because Monarch is incredible. But I like the difference in mood this song goes for. You have that very piano-driven intro that kind of foretells that some crazy shit's about to go down, and then it does a good job of sort of ramping it up until you get to that first build up, which again, that's when the badass vocal chops come in. That's when everything starts getting super hype, which I think works pretty well with kind of what the story that the song is going for. And then obviously you have your first trap drop, and then you have the immediate build up into the second one. And I like when songs do that. Sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't. We talked about the meaning earlier. That's one critique I have with that song, but I think it works well here. And then you have that key change, which you don't really see too often in EDM. One example that I like to go to a lot, Andrew, I know you're not going to be a big fan of this one, but Soft Spoken by Puppet I think does that really well. And I think Lyra does it well too, because you start, after this sort of very dark trap drop, you start getting things becoming a lot more triumphant before you get into that future bass drop, where it's just this sort of elated, jubilant feel, and I just love that. And then everything comes full circle with that outro. It's just so great. I could probably listen to this song like 10 times in a row and not be sick of it, and there's not too many songs that are like that. There's new things to unpack in every listen, and I'll be joining the 10 out of 10 club with this one.
I could barely listen to it 3 times, so...
Totally, yeah.
Somewhere in the world,
there is
a song triggered.
Yes. Like, you know, and it's not even my number 30. There's one song that's worse, but it's not in this episode, so...
Oh yeah. Alright, so that's
I need to find that list.
Back again.
Alright, so on to the first of 2 KUURO tracks on... 2 very similar KUURO tracks too on Uncaged Volume 4. We've got Doji. I don't actually know what Doji means. Oh, it's apparently a commonly found pattern in a candlestick chart of financially traded assets and technical analysis. So
I don't think that's what they're talking about.
Probably not.
Isn't a doji like a mythological creature where it's like...
I thought it was...
I'm probably completely wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure it's like someone that... Or it's like a demon disguised as a human or something like that.
That's what I thought it was.
Pretty sure that's what a doji is.
Interesting. Okay, that would make a lot more sense.
Which member of KUURO do you think is the demon?
Well, like...
Wasn't the demon like...
It was like the girl. It was like the girl that they were chasing after.
Prove it.
Because it's literally the album. It was in the teaser for Doji.
Maybe the album art isn't canon.
Fuck, well.
Alright, so starting this one off, we'll start with you, Alex.
Okay, right. Well, at first when I heard Doji, I was honestly a little bit let down because the drop left me wanting a little more. The off drop I thought was amazing. Like, I really got into it very quickly, but the drop, yeah, it just didn't click with me. But when saying that, within the next few weeks it started to grow on me, and then it became my number 1 of December, and I have no idea to this day how that happened. Yeah, but there are some really cool things happening, and there's yeah, and I mean, the drop may be a little bit emptier than most KUURO songs, but it's certainly one that I won't complain about. It feels like it's going at a really, well, I mean, it is, but you can really hear that it's going at a quick tempo, and that it's, you know, meant to be made for something really dramatic. I guess for like, you know, final boss music or UHC battles where your team just gets wrecked by the blues. So
The fucking yellows!
We were pink. And no. And yes, anyway, getting back to that, I think this is a really cool KUURO track, and KUURO have made some great songs so far, but this is probably one of their coolest releases, so I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10.
Whoa, high roller. Alright, I'll go next because
Okay.
I'll transition. I'm gonna be a little bit lower on this one. I gave it a 6 out of 10, and it kind of represents the 6 out of 10 of the whole thing's pretty decent, and not the 6 out of 10 where there's a lot good and a lot not so good. Really, my biggest problem with this one is the drop, because the atmosphere is all really cool. It's all stuff KUURO's done before, with stuff like Amon, Omen, which we'll get to later, Swarm, and then to a lesser extent Bandit. And so because of that, it's not really as special. It's sort of like if you have Christmas every day, it becomes less awesome and interesting. But yeah, nevertheless, I do like the off drop stuff a lot here. But the drop,
isn't that an episode of The Fairly Odd Parents?
Christmas every day, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You could say that's a lot of the Fairly Odd Parents. It's just having a surplus of a good thing can become a bad thing. That's sort of like the whole premise of the show. But
Bonk.
yeah, this is not Nickelodeon show critiques. This is Monstercat stuff. But the drop is kind of my biggest problem because it's basically all bass. And the lead is very dark. All the sound effects are really dark. Even like there's a couple of screechy sound effects they use, like almost bass housey kind of stuff. And even that's like really low. And I don't know. It's just kind of it's imbalanced and not in really a good way for me. It doesn't make for a very how do I say this, like, doesn't make for a very balanced song, I guess, is for lack of a better term. It's just not a song I can listen to over and over again. It's not really a song I get a whole ton of enjoyment out of, especially because KUURO has a lot of similar songs to this that I like more. So I'm probably a hypocrite because my whole shtick was I don't really like how KUURO is becoming more and more focused on the banger, and then as soon as KUURO makes a more atmospheric song, I'm kind of lower on it than a lot of people. But don't worry, KUURO will have their redemption for me in a couple podcasts from now. But yeah, for now it's I don't want to call it below average, but as compared to the rest of the songs on here, I think it's pretty average, unfortunately. Gabe?
Hi, do you mind if here we are again. Everyone's giving this song some love. I'm glad Sean had it a little lower, so I don't feel as bad. Personally, and I know Omen isn't a part of this episode, I like Doji a fair amount more than Omen, but I still think that both of the songs are pretty mediocre. And John brought up that it was more atmospheric. I kind of disagree. I feel like it was still more focused on the banger, and it has this problem that like all KUURO songs have had, where they're just, in some way, shape, or form, there's a similarity between all of them, and that, I don't know, it kind of kills it for me. I like the Doji sample before the drop. I like that, and the drop's honestly all right. It's just too much low end for me. I wish there was, more melody than just bwomp bwomp. But
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I say I want more melody, and then Possession is like one of my lesser liked songs from them. Not as much as people like Affix who like absolutely despise the song, but yeah, I think it's aight. Doji's aight. I mean, it's obviously not my favorite from this album. It's one lower than Spitfire on my ranking. I'd give it like a 4 out of 10. Just feel like it's like all the other KUURO songs that we've heard lately.
Is that? I think I smell that. I think I smell some wrong.
Oh god, I knew you were gonna say that too.
There we go.
I knew that was.
Here we go.
Really can mainly smell it from Nebraska and from Alabama. Not so much in the down under, but definitely those two places.
This place is called Australia, just telling you.
There's a lot of bad smells in Alabama, so it's okay.
Yeah.
In Nebraska, all you smell is corn, so it'd probably be pretty easy.
Well, Doji is so fucking good. Oh. No, Andrew.exe is stock. Just, I fucking love the track. Just the really kind of badass atmospheric intro, kinda. I mean, I hate repeating that, but, just, like, it's kind of, or, I wouldn't say super atmospheric, but, like, it's just so fucking cool, and then, I don't know, I thought I had more to say, but, like, and then the breakdown is just, like, yeah, it's repetitive, but I just think the whole thing's fucking badass. I think, that little vocal chop, not the Doji vocal chop, was also awesome, but the vocal chop that goes throughout the drop, like, every time, like, they go through, like, a little section, it just, I feel like it says press secretary, I don't know, that's what it sounds like to me. I love it, I don't know why, but I just love it. And then, I just think it's a...
I think it says smash that, actually.
Really?
Press
No.
secretary.
That's a,
Oh, that's
God.
Super Brand.
Yeah. Oh god, I don't remember who I was talking with, but,
I wish I had more to say, but then... I love the track, and I love how heavy that final drop is. That final drop just blows my mind. I love it so much. I'm gonna give that a thick 10. Hey, I got to talk about all my top 3 in this podcast. Cool.
oh yeah. No need for you to ever come back. Definitely not for, definitely not. Well, I was gonna say definitely not for your number 30, but, like, I don't know. We'll get to that in a second.
But I'm just glad I can, like, end this podcast on a high note, I guess. I
one
fucking
more.
love that track.
We have one more.
There's another track?
We have the Pegboard Nerds with Just Dance.
What the fuck? Wait. Oh my god, I didn't fucking read that. Oh my god.
So
I
we're
hate
glad
everything right now.
I'm glad you could end this one on a high note, Andrew. If you
Shut
want
the
to
fuck
start,
up.
if you want to start this one off,
No, I don't want to
I
start.
can end it on a high note. Come on.
I'll start
I can do that.
this one off. I think I've started one off this entire podcast. So this
Alright,
Just Dance is it's another one of those carnival tracks, which is where it starts with a sort of 4 on the floor beat and then goes into halftime, either dubstep or trap. In this case, it's dubstep. The drop did it too. I didn't really talk about it there because I don't really have anything to say about it there. But here, since it's a very big part of the identity to it, I'll say that it's a trend that I don't really care for the most part. I think it's a cheap way to add sort of energy to the track without actually doing anything really interesting with the production for the most part. There are exceptions, but like Power Fracture by Touch. I don't know if that counts as a carnival track, but it's got that same sort of feel to it. But here, I think that's kind of covering for the fact that there's really not much else going on, like, at all. And I know a certain someone here is going to disagree with me on that, but I forget what the drop sounds like a lot, and that's not good because the song's been out for 2 months and I've listened to the song probably more times than I'd like. It's not a terrible song. I give it like a 4.5 out of 10. It's not, it's not the Spag Heddy remix of Superhuman for me, but again, it's just really not one that I care for all that much. It's I'll chalk it up to being one of the Nerds' misses. I'll say it has a really cool cover art, and the vocals are okay. They're not as good as some of Tia's other stuff, but they're not awful either. And that's about all I have to say. Not much.
Somewhere in the world, there is a frog being triggered.
Oh well, I'll go next, I guess, and I'll start off by disagreeing with one aspect of what John said. That cover art is not cool. I don't like the cover art, but it's still probably better
You
than
like
the track.
Move That Body's cover art. Get out of here.
It's cool and minimalistic. I don't like all the pixels in this. Ew. Either way, I think I heard this like 2 years ago. I mean, they've been previewing it for years. I'm not gonna be that that guy who's like, oh, well, they changed it. I'll just say that maybe
So
it's because
Corbin with Haven't Let Us Down,
Yeah.
and everyone
Well, actually, no. Corbin likes Haven't Let Us Down. That's the thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He had it like pretty high up on his ranking.
I thought I remembered him saying, "Oh, they changed it to Neuro." I'm probably April definitely did that, and I'm sure there's
that was April's whole thing, like talking about it. But either way, I didn't hate it back then, but that might have been because the audio quality was worse and I couldn't hear it that well. I'll just start off. I don't want to hate on artists, but I do not like Tia's vocals at all on any of the tracks she's been on. I found them really just kind of obnoxious, just kind of filler vocals, I guess. Like, oh, we gotta have vocals. Let's call out my girl Tia. I remember Gabe telling me that Get On Up was originally a solo Jaws track, and that Pegboard Nerds' only contribution was getting Tia on the track.
Tia and like some of the elements of the off drop kind of making the song more wacky, because the original version's like a super dark bass house track.
Mm.
Okay.
But like, you know, I wish this was a Jaws solo track, so it wouldn't have Tia on it. I do not like that full-time drop at all. It's just an onslaught of that kick, and a really just not very good, I guess you could call it, melody. And then the halftime parts are, I guess, a bit more tolerable, but that's kind of all I'll say. I'd say also the drops are kind of the highlights of the song, just because I just do not. I'm gonna say it again. I do not like Tia's vocals at all. I do not enjoy them. I'm gonna give us a thick 1 out of 10.
Yeah, isn't it this is your number 30 on the album, right? Yeah, I'm glad you could end it on a high note.
Fuck you.
Your number 1, your number 2, and your number 30 all in a row. Alright. Alex?
Is it me turn?
Yeah.
I just said me turn.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too!
Alright. Okay. Shut up.
Wow, that's rude. Way to be kind to your hosts.
Sorry, mate. Anyway, okay, so throughout the years, Pegboard Nerds have released quite a lot of great tracks and quite a lot of mediocre ones. Just Dance, I wouldn't say it would be mediocre, but it's not one that I enjoy like heat. Like, it's really cool for what it is, though, and sorry, Andrew, but I do quite like the vocals. Unfortunately, but well, unfortunately for you, that is.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it, I like this track.
No, that's you're making me lose my concentration.
Oh, sorry, I'm good at that.
Oh, yeah, we know. Oh Jesus!
I think I should just play loud copyrighted music at this point and get this.
I think I'll just server
video
mute Andrew starting now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'll just get some Jay-Z up in here. It'll get taken down real quick.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll work out well for you.
Anyway, what I was saying is I heard the intro to this and I thought, man, this is gonna be really cool. And I mean, it was nice. I mean, the build-up was cool. The drop wasn't necessarily the greatest thing I've ever heard, but it was still badass from my point of view. And like the full-time section was certainly an odd way to start, but one that I'm not going to complain about. And the drop, even though being somewhat, I wouldn't really say bland for the Pegboard Nerds, but it wasn't anything groundbreaking at this point. It was, yeah, it's still a pretty badass track, and I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Is that any redeemable qualities, Gabe?
It's better than the others.
Okay, that's all I need to hear.
Alright, well, I've been internalizing all of my thoughts and feelings. You all have heard me except Alex. Alex, not as much. Andrew, why?
I'll just say remember Lyra.
Alright. I still love Andrew, but I'm sad. I'm not... Okay, I'm not sad, I'm just disappointed.
No, yeah, man, I heard that from my parents a lot.
Okay.
I still do.
Alright, so... Just Dance is my number 4 on the album. Just missing top 3.
Oh, you switched your Abby to your Carmot. Oh, that's... I didn't notice that.
But yeah. Just Dance is, so there's something about, like... Okay, second drop is incredible. I love that second drop where it gets like a little slower and a little, not really stuttery, but I don't know. I like the sound of the second drop. I like the full-time parts, and I know it's gimmick of a lot of dubstep lately. I think the song that comes to mind first when I think of songs that go like full-time before actually kicking into like dubstep is like Calamari by Dubloads and Barely Alive. I think of that track first because it's a very memorable song in my opinion. I liked Tia's vocal performance. I like the cheesy, like the cheesy theme behind the song. I think it's really nice, and I like the Nerds' dubstep. So I like the song a lot. So I give it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Alright.
Very nice.
So, if you're questioning why we split this into 3 parts, this first part is running well over an hour and a half. So,
yeah.
I'm glad we're not doing 20 more songs right now. But yeah.
Yes.
We made it through the first 10 songs. Some highs, some lows for all of us.
I think we would have gone faster if it was 30 songs.
Oh, that's 100% true, and that's kind of another reason because this allows us to go into more depth on some of these songs that we wouldn't have otherwise done. Like Body Moving would have probably taken us each like 30 seconds to talk about if we were talking about all 30 songs. But
if we were talking about 30 songs, I would have summed up both Body Moving and Eyes Wide Open by just saying meh. That's all I would have said.
I would have summed it up as short as I can as Andrew's wrong.
Yeah. So. That's usually pretty true.
Yeah. Well, everyone always says I'm wrong, so it's fine.
I mean, you're not wrong about most things. Just about MYRNE and about Super Andreas and about some of Grabitz's stuff and about Just Dance and about a lot of things.
Wait, what am I wrong about?
I don't know.
Everything apparently.
Andrew,
Oh yeah,
you're kind
just
of wrong
for
about a
future
lot of
reference.
things.
Like what? Like what?
Everyone just went completely silent.
The fact that you
like
think
what?
"Fack" is a bad song.
It's a terrible song.
I agree with Andrew though. It's not good.
No, it's not good, but there's some sort of ironic humor to it that I like.
Where the fuck is my phone? I'm gonna play this shit right now.
I'm gonna go ahead and server mute Andrew right now so that we can wrap this bad boy up.
And not get copyright struck.
Yeah, so thank you to all 3 of y'all for coming on. It was fun talking to y'all and memeing and talking about how wrong people's opinions are.
I'm totally not gonna be back for the next one.
Definitely not
at all.
Yeah,
But
so,
number 1 definitely isn't in that one.
Yeah, so next podcast we'll be talking about Subside, A Lot Like You, Cheat Codes VIP, Haunted VIP, Skies Falling, Champion Sound, Supersonic, the Oliverse remix of Higher, Shut It Down, and Disarray.
Alright,
So,
well, based on the fact that I have, based on my unpopular opinions, let's see what people think my number 1 is. Put it in the comments, leave a like, smash that motherfucking like button.
Yeah, give us feedback on what you think about these 10 songs, and also let us know which one of these 4 is your favorite.
No.
Except for Andrew, it can't be Andrew. Say which one out of Gabe and Alex is your favorite.
Also, please give me an in-depth description as to why my reasons are wrong. I'd appreciate that. I like seeing people get mad at my opinions. So, yeah.
That's basically why you started a ranking channel in the first place, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's,
John-
that's what I'm in it for. I like being told on a daily basis how wrong I am and how much I'm an idiot for my music taste.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the perfect confidence booster.
John,
It
clearly
really
a song, clearly a song that goes, "Shove a gerbil in your ass through a tube." Shove a gerbil. Yeah. Like that cannot be a good song.
I listen to shitty New Orleans trash bounce music, so that doesn't faze me. That doesn't make a song not enjoyable to me.
A song that says, "I'm done. I already came twice. You ain't gonna make me come. I'm all out of gas, not so fast. Oh, your finger just went in my ass."
God, please.
No.
This is gonna be a lot
God,
of beeps.
please.
Can we finish this?
Yeah, let's do
Oh,
that.
hold on. One more thing. Then
No.
it goes, "Oh, wait a minute. Put it back in this."
And that's gonna be the end of the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah.
Please love me in the comments. Please.
And me.
Thank you.
Not Andrew.
I knew that was
Not
coming.
Andrew.